Glenn, you there? Glenn, you there? All right. Well, I don't know what happened, but we lost Glenn. Sorry we lost you, Glenn. Let's go to Johnny in Canada. Johnny, thanks for calling. Welcome.
Chris. Hey, Chris. Yeah.
Hey, Johnny.
The truth stands irrespective of how we want to spin it in one way or another. And we are affected by suggestion. So we could see, I would argue, clearly everything that's transpiring and the reasons for it. For one, I would argue the people of Syria believe they live in a democracy. They vote with paper ballot elections to those that command themselves being fair. So we can't call him a dictator without lying to ourselves and our fellow men and women of our species. If we disagree with how their elections are conducted, we can openly criticize them for it and also press charges against Assad for as much as shoplifting if we have any evidence to form our conclusions as we do it on municipal levels. But as soon as we get into the magic TV realm of influences, no evidence is no longer a requirement to convince the newscaster. You know, I keep hearing the news, and they're not there to go, listen, you can't say this about Assad, the democratically elected. You can't continually call him a dictator as in opposition of the truth, speaking as power, true power. Like, that's the thing. What's the opposition of which I'm speaking to now? Only people who will cheat, me and you and everyone else, right? Why are they bombing this country? Because they command their own credit. He's Thomas Jefferson reincarnated, I could contend to my Indian friends. You know, he's doing what the constitutional fathers said was the way to conduct financial affairs in America's name, and that is Congress issues credit or mints money. We can't give that authority to a private banker. And so that's what this war is really about. So the best thing I could suggest to anybody who really wants to know the truth is just research his reacceptance speech in 2007 after they eradicate almost $1 trillion in debt in a blink of an eye. They're not cheating anybody. They didn't have to bomb anybody or kill anybody. All they did was get rid of their private bankers and have the credit issued in the will of the people of the country. So, I mean, I can go on and on about how great it is, even though the nation is practically decimated to dust. But I know this is really the crux of our errors so far in addressing this situation for the betterment of GIs. Why do we want to watch American GIs be conned to die for the lies that are being unfortunately fed to Trump to tell us he's guilty without any evidence to form our rights as defended? I don't know about this, Chris.
Exactly. And, you know, what's Assad's perspective? His father was Syrian president from 1970 to 2000. Assad president since then when his father passed away back in 2000. And he's been watching this for decades.
Yeah. And I love, like, if you research that area when he got reelected in 2007, you have all the other news that goes with that to go, yeah, this is amazing. The government's revenues have doubled. And they've used this money to build schools and hospitals. So his father was, you could argue, of course, a dictator, but he himself says he wants to go with the better ideas and wins re-elections. And who's the opposition that opposes fair say? The party called the Democratic Party, financed and defended by the American military presence there. They had a friendly fire incident, though, just recently, where they killed a whole bunch of these mercenaries hired by America, but they were killed by the U.S. Air Force. They said, oops. And who are the victims? These terrorists. They call themselves the Democratic Party, but they oppose elections. So they had to, I think they almost were forced to erase these characters because there's something wrong with that. You know, you're calling yourself a pro-Democratic Party, but you oppose elections, right? Because all these people in their legislature are fairly elected. And in 2007 or 2008 or so, they send a letter to every member of Congress, including Boner. Boner receives a letter from the legislative body signed by their head guy. They're all elected, and they say in the letter, we're democratically elected. We want to do the best for all citizens of Syria. The next day, Boner's on TV saying he supports attacking Syria. So after he received that letter from these democratically elected officials saying they just wanted to do things fair, particularly in banking included, let's never forget this, Boner wanted to go to war immediately. The next day was on TV. So, again, it's all here to see. Some will us to suffer and die, innocent victims to their onslaught of diseased intent to not do right. All people, even those who aren't religious.
Absolutely.
We got to win this somehow.
Yeah. I think John Boehner prefers his name pronounced Boehner, but to your point, I would refer folks to Bashar al-Jafari's remarks, permanent ambassador to the UN for Syria, who said they caught a bunch of guys. Remember we played that clip?